Welcome back. In today's video, I want to talk about something I've been seeing on Reddit, my local Facebook page, and in my day-to-day life, and that is a slowdown in the construction industry. Now, I think there are 5 factors I want to walk through for reasons why construction is slowing down, plus one bonus factor that I think you're not going to want to miss out on. So let's get into it. The first reason being economic uncertainty. With the rising interest rates and the cost of borrowing being so high, we're seeing a lot more delays and cancellations. I know my company had a lot of jobs that are supposed to be scheduled for January are getting pushed out further and further, which leads a lot of guys have to get laid off because there's no work for them. Now, a lot of jobs we've seen in the past getting finished up. We've seen a lot of cranes downtown. Those jobs were all like scheduled 3-4 years ago when interest rates were a lot lower. They locked in a lot of a tighter budget, so it's much easier to be profitable with lower interest rates. In 2022, interest rates were 0, and now they're at 5. And so a lot of companies wanted to wait to make sure that they're making, more profits. And so because of that, it's making it harder for other companies. And we're seeing too, companies that would have been bidding against maybe like 5 companies are now bidding against like 25. And so again, just with that, it's making it hard to be profitable because people are trying to undercut everybody else. And so it's more difficult now. And according to the NAHB, the National Association of Home Builders, housing affordability is at a 30-year low due to rising interest rates and inflation. Our country is not set up to have high interest rates. And because of that, it's making everything kind of be thrown for a loop. And I think a lot of times the construction industry lags because a lot of projects have to be done so much further in advance because of permits and architectural plans. So now we're kind of seeing what tech felt, maybe 2 years ago, we're now feeling that now. Another big problem we're having is we have a labor shortage right now. I know you keep hearing about the labor shortage and you see, like, I'm trying to get into the union, I can't get in, but it's a process that takes a while. And so you gotta look at it right now. We have an aging workforce. I think the average construction worker is around 42 years old, and 41% of construction workers are going to retire in the next 7 years. And so that's going to leave a huge void. And again, we just don't have the infrastructure to get a whole bunch of apprentices into, the apprenticeship. We don't have the infrastructure to take on like 1,000 more guys. It's kind of a problem like where these problems should have been addressed 10, 15 years ago, and we've kind of let it go so far. So now you don't even have the infrastructure to get everybody on board if we wanted to. If we wanted to build like 5 million houses right now, this year, we couldn't. We don't have enough guys. And we also have the conversation with immigration and the way we let people come into the country. A lot of people want to restrict that. And so that also is going to cause less construction. So again, maybe it's just a price thing. The income, the money we make in construction, if you're not union, I definitely know it's not great in some places. And so we're going to have to see, how this stuff levels out. A lot of people won't swing a hammer unless they get paid a good enough amount of money. And so that's going to affect housing. That's going to affect everything. So that is a major part of what is making us slow down so much. The fact that we don't have enough people to do the jobs, but also people don't want to do the jobs at the wages that they're set right now. So that's definitely going to affect us in the long term. So we'll see. Another thing, a lot of young people do not want to join the trades. They look at like Kai Cenat, Hassan, Asmongold, people that are making money with the computer, people that are making money from home, and they just seems more realistic. Also, you see people flipping these meme coins. They're doing cryptocurrency. Everybody's trying to do jobs right now. It seems that the minimal amount of effort, but they want like the maximum outcome. So again, the prospect of getting up every day at 3 o'clock in the morning and making your, fortune or making your living through your actual manual labor is definitely denigrated in society, whether that be in school where they say, if you don't go to college, you're a failure, or, just the way social media looks at, guys who are blue collar. It's kind of been, demonized. So again, it is what it is. I don't really care. I make $50 an hour, so you can demonize it, you can love it, it doesn't matter. But again, it does affect us when we don't have enough bodies to actually do these large scale projects. It does affect us when we can't, build more houses to actually have people get on that housing ladder. So that's why I think it's important that we kind of change the perception of what construction means for this younger generation. Reason number 3 is just supply chain issues. We definitely have been having a lot more disruptions. I mean, during COVID, lumber prices skyrocketed like 250% during the heart of it. And now it has tapered off, but it never goes down. All these things like will inflate and they never really go down. They may, settle a little bit, but then again, things are always going to be more expensive. And so whether it be COVID-19, the Suez Canal, the Russia-Ukraine conflict, Israel, and now Houthi rebels attacking ships, it just seems like there's a lot of stuff going on. And now if Trump actually does, enact some of these tariffs, that's definitely causing people to be more hesitant when it comes to investing in, building projects. Because again, people have to put money up to start these projects, whether it be, cities or private investors, wherever it is, people are looking for the best bargain. And so if there's constantly, disruptions that are going on that are going to make projects go over budget, people kind of want to hold off until things settle down. It seems like these things have not settled down ever since COVID-19. Now, the fourth reason for the slowdown is regulatory and zoning challenges. It's very difficult to get anything built, especially in a progressive city. I live on the West Coast. It's very difficult to actually get things built. You have to go through so many different audits and conversations with the public, city councils, all those things to get anything done. And again, when it comes to low-income housing or affordable housing, everybody wants it, but nobody wants it next to their house. So that's a challenge right there, right? I remember I was working on a affordable housing project, and the neighbors right next to the project were $1 million homes, and they were constantly calling the cops or calling the city because we were being too loud. And really when it comes down to it, it wasn't the noise. It was just they knew for a fact that once these places get built, they have challenges that they don't want to deal with. And so I think that's one of the hard parts when it comes to these conversations is people do not want to have affordable housing. They don't want construction done next to their house, but we want these things to be finished. And again, everybody wants a safe job site, and everybody wants a job site that's going to be clean, that's not going to be dumping toxic waste into the streets or into the rivers. But I think they definitely go very, very hard on us construction workers. They don't want a speck of dirt from our job site in the street, but then across the street, you have a hobo mansion being built. And it's just we can't stop them. So it seems like we as people who are productive members of society, actually building society, get punished. But then when it comes to other people who aren't really tapped into society, who aren't really a part of, the building process, it's just, meh. And so I think that's definitely difficult, and the process takes so long. You have to go to so many different city council meetings. The city has their input. They may want you to do environmental studies, protect a certain amount of trees. It's just a lot goes into it. It makes it a lot more difficult to build, opposed to maybe some of these red cities. It's a lot easier. You don't have to worry about if your building casts a certain shadow or something, on a playground or whatever. It's just build it if you want to. And you see more mixed housing. Other countries have the same thing where you may have, a neighborhood and then have a skyscraper in the neighborhood. We don't have that here. It's a lot of single family units, and that's all they want throughout. But then again, it makes it so you're not getting as much bang for your buck for the real estate. And so it seems like they're a lot harsher on people who actually build things, and it makes it very difficult to actually get things started and getting things actually to the building process. It says in 2023 studies by the National Multifamily Housing Council found that 40% of projects were delayed due to permits and zoning challenges. So keep that in mind. And the fifth reason is just a change in demand, especially when it comes to downtown urban areas. Now, I didn't see this as much in the Seattle downtown area, but it definitely is affecting the Portland downtown area, where you're seeing so many occupancies. You see so many buildings covered up with plywood, so many buildings that are out for lease, and that definitely affects our work, because when buildings change over, a lot of times these tenants want to change the space. They might want to build a wall here, build a restaurant here. And so that's a lot of work for us. And so when you see all these occupancies, us not working, us not renovating those buildings, that's the job for us. That's the things that we be doing, building the walls, maybe changing the windows out, just doing all the different work that comes with making a business occupiable. That's all work that we should be doing. And so the occupancy rate is definitely going to hurting us. And then that work from home model, where a lot of companies aren't investing investing as much into more high rises. They're not investing into more infrastructure, at least in the city. Now, I am seeing more work in the suburbs, but I definitely, when it comes to like the urban area, I definitely see a lack of investment, at least in Portland. So that definitely is affecting our work. The National Association of Realtors reported a 16% decline in commercial real estate investment in downtown areas compared to pre-pandemic levels. Residential construction in suburban areas grew by 20% in 2023. So it kind of shows that a lot of investment is fleeing from cities and now going to like the suburbs. But that also means like more commuting. A lot of the jobs more spread out. It's a lot harder to find a job for a construction worker because again, if these things are happening in a random place in, Tigard or a random place in the suburbs, it's hard to find these jobs opposed to if it's just like all down in a central location, downtown area. You may go from, the Rose Garden, and then you may travel all the way up to the zoo and you can find where all the jobs are. So if they're much more spread out, it makes it much more difficult to find a job as a construction worker. So that's a big deal too. Now that was the 5 reasons why we're seeing a slowdown. And here's the bonus reason: politics in the election. Because elections cause uncertainty, a lot of people want to stand off and want to wait to see what happens. They want to see what the administration's thoughts are. They want to see how there's going to be a shift in the economy. So there's more like a wait and see approach. And so, according to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, election years often reduce commercial investments as companies take a wait and see approach. Like I just said, so because of that uncertainty causes a lack of investment, which also causes a slowdown in construction. So I've heard that from a lot of older guys who've been in the industry for a while. They say, election years always cause a slowdown. And after we see like what's going on, there's usually a boom. It doesn't matter if it's a Republican or Democrat. We just want to see like what's their vision so we can then pivot towards what are we investing more into housing, into more real estate? Are we going to be doing more remodels? Are we going to be doing more affordable housing? It all kind of depends on like what the administration's goals are. And so people have to pivot based off that. So it's very, very important that once this process is over, now we know who the president is, now we know the election's over, hopefully that causes some stability and we can get moving towards back to building America, back to actually getting these jobs started. So I hope after watching this video, you see some reasons why construction is slowing down, whether it be, economic uncertainty, the election, supply chains, labor shortages. It all is an amalgamation. And again, a lot of these things will work themselves out and some may take a little bit longer. So hopefully this stuff gets worked out and we can get back to work. I know that, me personally, I've worked for the same company for 7 years. And so just now they started laying off a lot of guys. And so this is a new process for everybody. So hopefully this isn't a long drawn out process. Because again, if we have such a huge labor shortage, everybody's already in here, should be working, hopefully soon. So I appreciate you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys next one. Peace. Also, please like and subscribe, join the Discord channel. I have a lot of guys like emailing me, asking me questions, and I do want to answer your questions, but I would much rather be able to answer those questions in a public forum where other guys can also take the information and learn from it. So it's not just a one shot. I can help multiple people by answering those questions for you guys. So again, I appreciate you guys. I'll check you on the next one. Peace.